everybody, to the Journeymen podcast.
You better be praying to God because, you're 14 and losses in a row. You're going to need Jesus.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were pretty wrong, yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome live to the TJP podcast. That is the Journeyman podcast, brought to you by Woj.
Huh?
Brought to you by
This is where you introduce yourself to our 60 subscribers.
Barbarino.
Yeah.
Okay.
And me, Ryan. And I'm going to kick it to Woj for our topics for the day, for the pod.
Okay. I don't know, man.
Let's get after it.
You said brought to you by, and I was like, am I...
Do we have a sponsor?
I was like, are you...
Brought to you by the letter A.
For asshole.
Yeah. Sesame Street, this bitch.
7 bats.
Yeah, no, we're just farting around here, man. Nothing is like, we're trying to kick around name changes a little bit. Maybe it's really like
tweaks.
Once we land on something, there's like 6 other things that you got to do. So when we roll it out, we'll roll it out. But for now, we're TJP, the Journeyman podcast. So first things first, we talk about some sports here.
You gotta love sports.
So, Bobby, you wanted to kind of bring up the Ohtani kind of thing of like, I don't really know per se what happened. Something about an interpreter.
I only have a few details on this, but for what it's worth, it doesn't sound as if he's innocent of anything. So he has a interpreter, in which his interpreter basically call it laundered, siphoned money.
He placed bets for him with an illegal bookie, right?
Pretty much. I mean, that's what it boils down to. But his recollection was, $4.5 million. I don't know how that left my account.
I didn't notice.
I didn't notice, or it never hit home on him that, and then he kind of changed his story midway to something different. The reality is, it just nothing smells right about this whole situation, and he's getting paid $700 million over the course of 10 years coming up.
I mean, he's arguably the biggest player in baseball, right?
I would.
It's like Mike Trout and him,
Okay,
right.
so they had 2 outgoing wire transfers worth $1 million to an illegal bookmaking operation in Southern California. The guy Mitsuhira.
Is he the interpreter? Just call it interpreter.
That's the interpreter. What was his fucking name? Fuck that guy. It's not like he's watching this shit.
No, I know, but he's the fall guy, essentially. That's a cultural thing for Japan.
No, dude.
They have a fall guy.
No,
That's
dude.
a real thing.
No.
Okay.
Dude, how do I know more about this than you?
Okay.
Dude.
All right, Google it.
I literally have it open.
All right, here we go.
But it's just that he is an interpreter. The money is in Ohtani's name or a wire is associated with it. He was a known gambler. And to me, it's pretty cut and dry. Like, he was trying to siphon money, and he achieved it for a while, but then there's a paper trail, and now Ohtani's like, people are asking him like, oh, what involvement did you get? And he like right here it says like, we were business partners, like, didn't really know about the inner goings. Like, I just think that Ohtani he's making so much money anyway, though. I know his current deal did not. They deferred a lot of the money, so he's only getting paid like $2 million a year. But he's got like endorsements and brands. I'm sure he's making a couple $100 million.
Yeah,
every
I don't think
couple
money
years.
is going to be a factor for him.
I just don't think that you would see 2 $500,000 transfers with him, and you go like, yeah, it's whatever. It's Southern. Like, am I going to check in on that? I personally would not. So I'm going to believe Ohtani for at least right now.
I don't know. I'm not a rich millionaire, so I don't know. It seems like a lot.
Can I at least bring up maybe a counterpoint or at least an example? So we all know that Michael Jordan, greatest, he gambles all the time. It was never like I don't believe it was ever in basketball, but
it's never proven.
Are you alleging the first retirement thing?
I'm not alleging to that, but in general, he does gamble all the time with everyone. Golfing doesn't matter. Like even the security guy who's flipping, quarters who could get closest to the wall and gambling on that. So the guy's a gambler, but you're telling me someone who gambles, they'll know if $5 is out of their account. You're telling me that this guy.
Ohtani. It's Ohtani's money, dude. That's why this is so big. If some asshole that was an interpreter for the fucking,
I'm just saying, you take
Las
$10
Vegas
out of my
Argonauts.
account, I would know about it.
But it's you're absolutely right in that if you have money, you actually look at your accounts frequently and you see a money amount that you're like, I don't know where this is from. I get that train of thought. My point is just that he's making so much money. He definitely has his own an accountant, probably an accountant for Japan, monies earned as well as U.S. monies earned. Like I just think that there's a lot of people with his hand in his pocket, like of just like, hey, this is, I have 4 other people who manage my money. I don't look at it.
How did it? But so it was like the interpreter approved to access the account. Like, how did he get the money?
I'm sure he's got the numbers.
But you have to.
No, but like wire
they won't-
transfers.
They won't just give you the money. Like, you have to be on the. Like, if you go to the bank, you have to be.
You got to be an executor. You have to be on
and
the
you
account.
have to show your ID. Like, it's like a whole thing.
All they're saying is that Ohtani's name was on 2 wire transfers.
So then he was capable or knowingly and willfully did these wire transfers. That's
They obviously have other evidence because they named Mitsuhara as the guy. So they clearly have him either making it or like approving it. I don't know,
Right.
something like that.
and hold on.
Well, I mean,
Pete Rose said this, and I'm glad. I want to kind of just diverge into that path. But Pete Rose came on camera. He's like, I wish I had an interpreter when I was a manager for the Reds. And I'm like, yeah, it's a good point because he's currently blacklisted from the Hall of Fame in the MLB due to his gambling.
Well, it was proven that he was betting on. He was only
He was
betting,
betting on his team to win.
He was only betting on his team to win, but it's
confidence.
literally the thing that's the MLB, NFL, all these guys with the sports gambling for the longest time has been like, you are not able to bet on your team. Like, it's just a bylaw.
do we know what Ohtani was betting on, or his
Right, I
interpreter
guess-
was betting on?
I'd be curious to see, if he had any influence. If he was betting on Ohtani, so for example, I'm going to have 3, let's say the line is 3.5 ERA. I could have a bad day and let up some, easy throws or walk a few
Dude,
people.
they're also saying, while the Dodgers were in South Korea, this happened in Southern California. So I think that's why the fraud was suspected, is because he's in a different country, and that's why this guy's
He's
identified.
placing bets, yeah.
But that's fine. Like, I don't think you're ever gonna know of what did Ohtani if Ohtani were to make a bet, which I'm not making that at all. I think it's this gambling addict Mitsuhara is the guy. He had a history of
I have a
gambling.
few thoughts.
Yeah, no,
But
it's okay.
go ahead. I'm gonna kick it over to you. I just don't think that you're gonna know the full story.
I
about
don't know if he did or didn't. I mean, it seems like it's certainly possible. And obviously, for baseball, they can't have this, him doing that. So for them, it's a lot better if the interpreter was the one doing the betting and not Shohei. You know what I mean?
A fall guy.
A scapegoat or whatever.
Yeah, a
not
patsy.
Maybe it's true, maybe it isn't, but it would be better for them. If their best player in the league, who just signed a $700 million deal.
Yep, huge deal.
Is gambling. It's a horrible look, especially in baseball. But it's kind of hypocritical. Let's
with
be honest,
the Pete
though.
Rose history and stuff
It's hypocritical now, though. They're they have in-game betting and stadium betting, and they're in baseball where it's, you can bet on baseball legally now. A lot of places, so it's kind of hypocritical.
No, it's just simply they don't want the
I
guy
know, I'm just saying,
directly doing it. I will just say in general that just be a smart fucking person.
Yeah,
if you're a professional,
Well,
you hire somebody
yeah.
to do that specifically, and you go, hey, these are all the bets I want you to
Yeah.
make. It's
Well-
going to you. I'm not going to touch the money. We're going to launder it through whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And you never get caught.
A, you don't do a wire transfer. You give
Right.
them cash,
Yeah.
old school. Drop it off somewhere, they pick it up. And,
Right.
And B, just don't bet on baseball in general, your own sport. Or if you're a football player, don't bet on your
I honestly, dude, I don't think it came out that he necessarily bet.
Yeah, well, if
you
he
don't
did,
know
if he
what
did.
the
Yeah, I don't
games
know.
that he bet on.
Yeah.
Could have bet on women's tennis or some shit.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. This is all speculation. We're not trying to,
Well,
It's a topic of conversation.
Here's the thing, too, though. If he's not betting on baseball, why are you betting through an illegal bookmaker? Why don't you just bet through Rivers or whatever?
Yeah.
Any
I don't
Some
know.
other application,
Any
yeah.
online of the
Yeah,
how
what
many
is
they
the-
have.
Yeah, the King.
true.
King.
It's not like you can't do it. It's legal, right? Or
Right.
I don't know. I don't get it.
What is it?
There's stipulations with the.
Which does kind of aid
Yeah,
the
FanDuel and Sports King or whatever that, a bunch of other ones.
But there's also stipulations with the leagues themselves. Like they do limit it. I don't know this for certain. I don't fact check, but I'm assuming that some leagues outright deny it. Like they go, hey, if you gamble in any facet, you're out. Some are just like only particular to the actual sport that you play. I think there's some varying differences there, but either way, Bobby, you're right. It's just, it's a topic of conversation. It's interesting until you get more kind of facts.
I wouldn't be surprised either way. If the guy was doing it alone and stealing the money, or if Shohei was doing it through him and then he's taking the fall, either.
Always got to have a fall guy.
Would not surprise me.
Yeah. Yep. No, I just, I would like to think that our professional athletes aren't capable of that, but clearly maybe I'm just rose-colored glasses.
People want to bet. It's fine. Just you can't bet on your own shit. Though.
Right. Don't bet in your own, don't shit where you eat.
It's not a good look.
All right, boys. So let's take a turn.
Transition
to
graphic.
Let's do the upcoming NCAA tournament games here, where we're going to
very exciting.
See a whole host. I would obviously like to get the fucking bracket. Technical difficulties.
Well, let's start with here. We got Illinois, Iowa State tomorrow.
There we go.
9 p.m.
U of I, baby.
Big game for U of I. They haven't been to the Sweet 16, in a minute?
19 years.
Yeah, since 05 when they went.
Since 05, and they went all the way to the championship.
Yeah, so it's going to be, I think my friend, he's a big Illinois guy, said best offense versus the best defense. Illinois best offense. Iowa State best defense, so it should be a good matchup.
I mean, I'm just excited to have an Illinois team. Honestly, the one good Illinois bright spot right now.
Yeah,
all of sports kind of is fucking. Yeah. So I'm excited to go. I don't really know a whole lot about the NCAA.
Well,
so
I know we got Terrence Shannon Jr. He's one of the best players in college basketball. We're gonna need a big game from him.
Yeah, he's been crushing it the past couple games. So watch out, NBA. He is on path.
I also would like to see a heavy dose of Dame Danger, the center they got. He's real good. That's an awesome name, by the way.
Damn, you fucking know. Did you research this shit?
No, my friend or my coworker friend Joey.
Okay.
He's
out.
He's a big Illinois fan. So when we have the game on, on occasion or whatever, we talk about, he loves Illinois. So he kind of tells me a lot about this stuff. And then we want when the game's on, I'll notice some shit.
Okay. So you're around it a bunch here. I mean, I think we obviously all want Illinois to make a run here. That'd be cool to watch. I mean, UConn is kind of like the favorite because they won it last year.
They crushed Northwestern. We had that game on too.
Yeah, that was not a close game.
Bad.
UConn's a heavy favorite going into this.
They also play San Diego State, so it's not
know,
like they're a 5 seed, so it's like they don't have the.
I don't know the guy's name on UConn, but the big center guy is a beast. He's like 7'3" or some shit.
Shit.
He was crushing Northwestern. He moves too, like this big white dude. They were real good. Like Northwestern, just could not get anything going. Like they were clearly like outmatched athletically and just like struggling to even have a possession. Where UConn just like rolled every possession.
Yeah, I think they're still the favorite. I mean, there's like a Houston Duke. I mean, realistically, in the Sweet 16 here, I'm not like I have interest, but they're more from like a spread pool. I was telling you guys about it.
Yeah.
Where if they cover the spread, you advance the team whoever wins.
Oh, you're doing that, the Survivor Series.
Well, I have 3 teams.
That makes
still
it
in.
fun. That's interesting.
Oh, that's fun.
Well, it keeps me in the game just because the bracket was donezo after the first
Isn't
couple.
it the thing, too, if they don't cover the spread and you have the other team, then you capture that team or something?
Right, yeah. So, again,
That's
whoever
awesome.
covers the spread ends up the winner of that game is given to whoever covers that. So, I got
5 on it.
Alabama. I have
Bama's not making it.
Tennessee, and I have you know what? Maybe I just have those two.
Whoa, Alabama almost lost that game.
Bama's not going further than
pulled it out in the
here. Tennessee has a good chance. I think Tennessee can make it to the Final Four if they keep their head right.
Yeah. Oh, and I have Illinois.
Let's
Goddamn
go U of I, baby. Illini.
So there's those interests in there because the bracket to me it's such a thing for me that I've like lost interest in because like Every year now for the last 20 years, I've picked okay, this one's the thing, and then fucking first game.
I know we had talked about filling it out, and I totally forgot to do it. And then I woke up the next day, and I was like,
I have UNC winning, and my bracket's technically not that bad because I still have the people in the Final Four all in it, so that helps.
I feel like the only real big upset was the Oakland over Kentucky, which Kyle had my brother at Kentucky winning the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
But
He told me that it was busted.
From what I've heard or seen, it's been mostly blowouts and mostly chalk, right?
Was chalk.
Like the
Standard, higher seed just
the
takes it.
expected result.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's been too many upsets, but enough of them.
The more you know.
In my favor. Yeah, I never heard that terminology actually. That's kind of cool. I don't know, man. I definitely wanted to just kind of dip our toes into the NCAA tournament just because it's kind of current topic. You want to 1 year maybe we're a lot more into it. Bobby, you had the
I have UNC doing it.
I'm an NBA guy.
But you also had the the betting strategy that paid off for a while.
Yeah, it paid out for a while, but I had an L. Usually, and this is just me, a 15 seed will upset a 2 on the round 64. That historically the past 5 years that happened at least once, and then the odds of putting money just on the 15 seed outright pays off the other losers.
Right.
So you're going to be in the black. It didn't happen this year, but you know what? That's stats. Sometimes it'll be off. But will I do this next year? Yeah, I'm going to do same bet.
So this is what I would probably say is again we'll touch on the topic probably as it gets closer to the the next round. Maybe we'll get a little bit of an update and stuff like that. But I would say maybe next year we blow it out a little bit more. We'll come in maybe a little bit prepared. Ryan had the good idea of doing the showing our brackets, kind of like how we do, and then kind of following along, giving updates. But yeah, let's. Unless you guys got any final points on the NCAA,
I think Purdue's the favorite. I believe they're the number one.
Zach Edey is a big ass.
He's like
big
7-4. But I'm telling you right now, if UConn gets to play them, I think they can match up.
Okay.
Oh, agreed.
That they have the size with the other guy and the athleticism with the guards and the defense.
I mean, I think the top 4 seeds in this year, really were the 4 best teams in the entire country.
I mean, to me, Zach Edey is just good because he's just bigger than everybody.
Well, he's big, and this is what I would always say about him is that he attacks the boards.
He
whereas
does.
Some other guys try and play it strategically of hey, I'm going to try and box you out because I think it's going to go farther. He just goes after whatever, and because he's so tall, he just still snags everything. He had 20 and 14 or something like that. 25 and 14 or something.
I don't know
like
if he'd be good in the NBA though. I feel like he'd be a good role player maybe.
Remains to be seen, man. You don't know.
Everybody in the NBA's got more size and athleticism, and he doesn't have much athleticism.
Well, we're looking at Vukovic.
Right.
I mean, he's getting paid. I'm just saying, I wouldn't count him out. Like I said,
I think he can make the league, but I don't think he'll be an impact like he's in college.
An impact player.
That's all I'm saying.
That I think that's a pretty fair take, but I also think that it's going to really depend. As you're an NBA guy, it does depend on where those teams fall because, there are some times where there's, I think it was Detroit just randomly. I want to say that they had, 2 number 1 picks, within the top 4 lottery picks, back-to-back years, and they're, center. And then they drafted another center or something like that. I'm you don't need that, and you kind of, you want to get a guy that's, going to fit your team, obviously the best. But I don't know. Wherever Edey goes, I think I could easily see him going to a team that's hey, we got Joel Embiid, so you're not going to fucking
a lot
play.
of times in college basketball, when you're the best player, it doesn't translate to the NBA. Christian Laettner.
Christian Laettner was a bitch.
JJ Redick, but they were
throwing some heat.
They were dominant in,
he's gonna
in
fucking
college, but in the NBA, they're just a guy. JJ Redick a specialist, a 3-point specialist for sure. He would, but he wasn't doing everything like he was in college. Or Tyler Hansborough, he dominated college basketball, but NBA, he's just a guy.
There we go, Bulls, last in the league in dunks. You guys are fucking pussies.
Gotta dunk that shit.
They're struggling.
I don't know, man. That was no. That's a good segue though because I don't want to talk about basketball any longer. It breaks my heart. So let's switch it over to our little album review.
Oh yeah, here we go.
All right, Bobby's pick this time.
We got Linkin Park Hybrid Theory. This came out October 24th, 2000. So for all of our fans that are were born late 80s, early 90s, I guarantee you were listening to this on the radio or had the CD.
This is in rotation.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a solid one. Great pick.
Like
All
I
right,
said,
get into it.
This just some quick factoids about this. This sold over 32 million records. And it is one of the top 15 21st century records by RIAA.
Stands for
authority
something?
or something. Yeah, recording industry.
Who cares? Moving on.
But I really like this because at the time, I mean, we had Blink, we had some of these other boy bands coming out, and it was soft. This is not soft by any means. This was more of alternative rock. It had a little bit more of an edge. So I just think when I was all of like 7th or 8th grade at the time, when this came on, man, it made you pay attention.
Okay.
Well, it came out at a time also, you didn't mention it, when like new metal was a thing.
Right.
Where it's like Limp Bizkit, Korn.
Yeah.
This kind of, where it's kind of like a rap rock hybrid.
Okay.
Kid Rock. Like, I mean, not that they sound like Linkin Park, like, but they kind of all have that thing where they mix the rock and the rap, they blend it together.
I would say
with like electric sounds too, somewhat. And
I would also say though that there were probably more examples. I can't think of one, but to me, Linkin
I'm not
Park.
saying that they're like exactly.
Linkin Park, the rap rock though, they're obviously more heavy on the rock. No,
I don't know. Mike Shinoda raps a lot. I mean,
okay.
What?
Yeah, he does. You're right. I'm just saying. I think it's a little bit more if it's a teeter totter, you know what I'm saying. It's going a little bit.
I mean, it depends which album you're
the
talking
rock
about.
way.
I think this one has more of the rap stuff with it.
Okay, agree to disagree. I mean,
or it's at least 50-50.
At least let's run through some of these tracks that are on here. We have Crawling, which was huge. In the End, Paper Cut, One Step Closer. I mean, those four, I think, for anyone is easily identifiable.
In the End and Crawling are the two big ones.
yeah. Well, Ryan, you put that like denotation on it before of like A songs, B songs, kind of like these are the ones that are like
those are the singles,
up
the
there.
hits. Those are the A's. A side note, In the End is like one of my go-to. It actually is my go-to karaoke song.
Okay.
Like
So-
many
Wow, you
occasions.
can pull the Chad Bennington out.
No,
huh?
I do the Mike Shinoda. I have someone else do the Chester.
Okay.
But yeah, I love it.
Saw them live when they were down in Tinley Park at the amphitheater, and it was out of this world.
As far as the B tracks go for me, Paper Cut, One Step Closer. Let me see what else.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said B?
Yeah,
Is One Step Closer?
Sorry.
I don't think.
No, I think In
it was
the
like a
End's on
single.
side B.
No, not the side B. Like,
No, B,
B
level.
is low,
A,
gotcha.
I, mean, I
level,
don't
B
know.
level.
Was it on the radio? I don't know. I don't remember hearing
I
it.
definitely
End
remember
definitely
that
was.
In the
one.
End, and I remember In the End and Crawling for sure.
Yeah,
Points of Authority, I like.
that's a good one. Yeah, that's.
I
good
like that
beat.
one the penultimate one, the Cure for the Itch, where it's like just like the DJ mixing the sounds. I thought that was cool. I kind of wish they would have rapped or sang on it, but it was a real cool like flow and sound ad.
I mean, dude, I will just say that the album in general is good enough. You know, I was talking kind of about my barometer of like why I would buy an album, and I'm like, even the songs on this that I don't necessarily like know every word to, or like even sometimes remember, like, oh, that's Linkin Park. They're still enjoyable to like listen to. So like I liked all of them. The ones I didn't like as much though is like I can't remember the name of it, but they did have a couple. Like I was saying, it was approaching kind of like screamo for like a
It's more of
chorus.
a corn or
That's
death
Chester.
metal.
Yeah, but it was one of the ones on the B side. That one just in particular, I can't remember which one.
All
it
right,
was.
that's fair.
But like again, overall, like most of the songs I found, hey, these are, again, even the ones I don't know, I'm like, hell yeah, this is fucking Linkin Park. Great overall
beat,
album.
great
I
album.
feel like for us, there's a lot of nostalgia with it. Like,
There is.
For me, like I heard it when I was like 12.
When did this shit come out?
2000.
I think I heard it in like the summer of 01. Me and my friend Colin used to always play basketball in his driveway, and he had this playing like all the time, and we just listened.
This was I definitely found this probably like a couple years later, probably when I was like 12.
And then I had the album myself, and I would listen to it on like road trips all the time.
Dude, I just gotta say, just a quick interjection, but like the 90s, because like this is what I know, but like to me the mid to late 90s into like the early 2000s, like early 2000 mid 2000s, like that whole stretch of that was just always like, in my opinion, it's always the greatest like I could always find something for like every single type of like, oh, if I want this shit, I go here.
It had a
If
great
I want
like
rap,
8-year stretch. Exactly.
Yeah, it just was like everything though. Like they all these type of songs came out that just were like, it's not like one type. Like I would say now more today, the genre like of rap is like the exact same thing across the board. Like there's not any differentiation within that. It's very like, hey, this is gonna be like this lane where it's like it's not like wet ass pussy shit, like like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like bend it over, put it on your knee. It's like very
no.
sexualized stuff, and I'm like, who the fuck listens to? And it's obviously it's younger generations because like that's what they're.
I think that just in general, I think you know what, this isn't me trying to be a moralist by any means, but the.
But you are. Go ahead.
No, but it just seems like the lyrics, and granted, we had horrible lyrics as well at our in our prime, but it seems like they're either lazier and just raunchier. And
well, yeah, everybody's trying to be raunchy. I don't subscribe to that.
no, neither do I.
Okay, but the Linkin Park though, this is also what I really enjoy though, dude, is like I had this as a CD.
Yeah.
But hearing it on the album, like I don't know, I just like the album kind of feel and the vibe and being able to see the artwork and stuff like that. I just I think what when I give out my next recommendation, I'm going to be going to a CD.
All right.
But I actually is one that I might try and get in as an album to see fucking
Here we go.
how it seems. But I didn't want to cut the Linkin Park short.
I think we got it.
No, but the one last factoid about Linkin
go
Park, they were originally called Hybrid Theory. That was the name of their
Yeah,
band
you're saying that.
before they created Linkin Park. And the reason why, and Woj said it worked out better this way. One of the artists would constantly be driving through an area which was Linkin Park over in California, and they tried to get the domain name. It was way too expensive to get like LINCOLN,
Like Lincoln, yeah,
then
that
actual
person,
like spelling. So they were able to get that name, and he mentioned it to the band. They're all on board with it.
I mean, dude, it's definitely such a more badass of like, oh shit, like this was also in like for me personally, it was also in like where I thought I was like, I'm fucking edgy, dude.
yeah,
like,
no, there's definitely a chip on your shoulder.
I'm like, I fucking rock. You know what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I like this. I like the mix of the genres with this band. I think it's good.
Yeah, they bring in 99 Problems on that remix, which was just fucking great.
All right, last quick question
Yep.
before we give the what you call it.
Before we sign off, yeah.
So we were talking about kind of like Kanye, and as we did the last one that dropped today, and you said that like kind of the next couple albums, like he had a good period. I would also argue that Linkin
the
Park
next album is amazing.
pretty much had that same kind of thing of a couple. Wouldn't you say like the next
Oh
two
yeah,
albums?
wasn't it Meteor?
Meteora is the next
yeah.
one. It's really
and then
good.
what's the one after that?
Well, they had the collab with Jay-Z, which is like
The remix, yeah,
which is
Bobby was talking about.
Meteora with some of his songs. And then
I thought they had like not an untitled, but a self.
they might, yeah.
might
They
have,
had
yeah.
the one. I know that, and then eventually they had the one with the first Transformers movie.
Right. Yep.
Oh shit, that wasn't there.
yeah.
What I've Done or whatever.
What I
Yes.
That's a good one.
Damn, dude, we gotta
That was with Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely gotta go. Like one of my favorite things of all time was like one hit wonders. Of like, you ever see that shit on like VH1?
Oh yeah,
back
of
in the
course.
day?
I mean, we grew up watching VH1. Yeah.
But I'd fucking want to bring. I might start doing maybe like a single of the
Yeah.
episode or something. One hit wonder.
One
of the
hit
episode.
wonder moment. I
Yeah,
like
that's
it.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
try and
yeah.
do that shit. So maybe more to come on that. I just brainstormed the hell out of that. So
You're singing,
You're
living-
watching
Yeah,
how
you're
we make
watching
the
our
sausage.
progress.
right. So
So what's the next album?
the next album
Your choice.
is going to be the Marshall Mathers LP.
Woo! Yes.
Yeah, so that
Which one
one-
is?
No,
That's
that's
the second one.
Yeah, that's it's the one that you know that
Okay.
you're thinking of.
All right,
So
good.
well,
Stan and the Way.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
I'm more of an Eminem show guy, but I love that one too.
It's all good.
Both
He's
fantastic.
He's got
First three.
He's a great artist, so there's a lot of choices that you can make with
Slim
that.
Shady LP also awesome.
Right, Slim Shady LP is also, but it would definitely in my mind it was definitely more of like
You can't go wrong.
I went kind
You're
of
stoked on this.
in
I
the
love it too.
in the era, like I kept it in the era.
No, they're fucking all good. Like
and then maybe next time I'm gonna jump around.
for me, just personally, like I listened to the third one the most.
Okay.
Like, that came out when I was like 12.
Gotcha. All right,
I'm
so
loving our selections right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the album review. That was dope, though, guys. I
Yeah.
had a lot of fun there. So we are going to take a pause, grab a beer. Last episode we had a promotion or a commercial, which was dope. We don't have one this time, but for all the people out there that want to support us and get your shit out to 60 more people, you let us know.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with the movie review, which whose pick was it?
It was Bobby.
Oh, it was mine. Yeah,
Bobby's.
yeah, my pick.
And that was Baseketball. So we're going to dive into that in just a little bit. We're going to cue the music. I salute you. Your movie.
All right, Journeymen, welcome back. We're going to take this segment and review Baseketball. Remind me again, and this is my movie, and I should be a little bit more prepared. What year did this come out? 98. Okay.
July of 98.
Thank you. Sorry, I usually have a little bit more information coming into these things, but I've seen this movie a ton. So let's just get started on I'll do a quick synopsis.
Yep.
You have two friends who...
Three friends.
Well, I'll say two plus
like
one.
Two.
Two and a half.
Two close friends and an add-on.
Let's say 2.5.
Who
A lingerer.
basically are one more, delinquent payment away from losing their, place and, getting dropped. They invent a kind of sport that you could be done right outside their house at any basketball court. It's basketball, so baseball rules in a basketball horse setting. And they become professionals. But in doing so, the fame gets to one of them. The other one has to sort out some issues, and it becomes more of a...
Yeah, they start the National Basketball League, so it's a
national-
professional league, but
it's restricted in the
Restricted,
sense that the rules in place from the billionaire who supported and founded it didn't want teams to constantly move around, all these lucrative endorsements, basically become another NASCAR or another,
why is NASCAR your first one? How about basketball?
I'll say, NASCAR, because you look at any of their vehicles, it's like 100 different sponsors.
Okay, the sponsorship, I could see it from there.
In that sense, but you're right, basketball is another one.
Well, I was more going on the teams being able to change locations,
and so
sign free agents.
Yeah, so that
All the
kind of pulls
players
us
make-
together to the intro. I want your thoughts on the intro of basketball, which was Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, hitting his third home run in a playoff game, but it transitions to more of an open discussion on professional sports in general. So that was really fun. It was very entertaining for me.
Yeah, the initial montage of
Yes.
how they're kind of setting up this is why basketball is going to be different because of all the things
Right.
that we just said here. But I just will say this in the beginning because it was irking me a little bit.
All right.
So if you watch on Amazon, they do this X-ray thing where you can, I guess, see trivia facts and shit like that. So
if you pause or
there's
whatever.
just so many continuity
Pop-up
errors.
video.
Yeah, whatever. But continuity errors, like just for example, the one was Reggie Jackson hit his ball third home run to center field, where there were no fans, it was just a grass area or whatever.
so
so
his last one would just went in.
couldn't have done that. But then there was even continuity issues of okay, there was a guy
But
in the stands where you can clearly see the camera, or other weird shit.
okay, so a little bit of
Just a-
sloppy camera work.
Right, they just didn't give a
For
fuck.
continuity.
Kinda,
Okay.
yeah.
One thing that made me laugh, though, is just in that intro, and I'm sure you guys will have a few little, and we're going to be doing quotes, and spoiler alert, it's been,
Yeah.
just shy of 20 years or
More than that.
24.
24. Okay, there you go. I loved it. Houston Oilers
26.
moved to Tennessee where there is no oil.
Yeah.
What is it? The Minnesota Lakers moved to LA where there are no lakes.
Yeah, the New Orleans
Jazz
Jazz moved to
moved to
Utah.
Utah.
They don't
They
allow
allow
music.
And then they make fun of Oakland. The Raiders were moved to LA. And then
Nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed. So then they had the whole map of the USA with just a bunch of different lines drawn from A to B. But that's the reality. We've had we've experienced that in our lifetime where teams came into existence, moved around. So it's
Expansion
it's kind of a
teams, yeah.
headache.
I thought it aged really well. Like the whole thing about the players not caring as much and just caring about being
Payday.
famous.
Yeah, the guy
and,
says, "Oh, after playing for Miami, Minnesota,
Yeah.
or
In a year
Florida."
as a greeter
Like,
at Walmart.
It really aged well. Like today, like I don't think, not saying no athletes care, but I don't think they care maybe as much as former athletes. Or money's more important, or getting your name out there, social media, all these things. More than being just the best of your sport.
Right. Okay, so getting beyond that intro, I know we spoke about it right now. Let's talk about maybe favorite scenes. I like to start off this, and we usually do that, start off this segment with favorite scenes. So
I'll be general. Like anytime the road game for the Bears, when they play that little road trip, they do, I believe it's New Jersey,
Informants,
San Francisco,
Ferries.
and then the
San Antonio
Defenders. And I'm just saying, like, from each of those, there's just always, like, the one psych out, which, like, the psych outs in this are fucking, even the ones that didn't work or whatever, I still love them. They still made me crack up there. But, like, one of them is, like, the Defenders. He's like, what do we always say? 1, 2, 3, fuck the Mexicans. It just was, like, random, like, out of the box type of shit.
And they got the Sopranos goof on the Informants. Your mother's a terrible cook. And then he's like,
he thought it was like a great psych out.
And he drops a 3 on him.
They also do the how to speak San Franciscan vagina as he pulls down the pants. And he goes, oh, no, that wasn't a gay joke. That was a San Francisco. That was an Australian joke.
Australian joke.
I don't know. I liked all those kind of like little iterations of that type of thing. Those were fun.
I like the scene where they're going out with what's his name, Joey, the cancer kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Day out.
And they're getting hammered at the bar.
Dude, the Jerry Springer. Yeah.
Taking shots,
Yeah.
watching Jerry Springer, and then they realize that they have a game to go to, and then they show up drunk as fuck to the game, and he's supposed to make 3 home runs, but he fails miserably.
Well, yeah, dude. The greatest line by Joey Diaz, man. The ref, he goes, he's
Yeah,
1 for 11 and smells like Christian Slater.
Christian Slater, yeah. And then it's followed up by the doctor go, it's the strangest thing. He's 8 years old and he smells like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
Has he had any
I had both of
changes?
those.
One of my favorite scenes going into it, I guess maybe it's a combo of, is the aftermath of him missing that final like home run and then running to the hospital and just freaking out, and then all the antics that go along with
he
it.
tries to revive the kid because he can't
exactly
feel
right.
it,
But he's
flat
like,
lines or whatever.
what do you think it looks like I'm doing? An execution? Giving her all I got. All the kind of the
I love you.
quips.
Always have.
Always have. And then clear, go back to it. And then the funny, I think for me, maybe it's a little low-key funny, was he's driving in a Volkswagen Beetle, and like the music going on is like a very pertinent to his situation.
So,
and your girlfriend thinks you suck. And he's like, the fuck?
Dude, so I'll just also like say I was going to mention it later when we talk about the soundtrack, but like that's Trey Parker singing that
yes,
song.
it is. Yeah.
It's like they do kind of the same thing with Adam Sandler and The Wedding Singer doing that, like getting in their own songs, because they do it in Team America. I'm
Team
sure
America World Police. So yeah, Trey
South
Parker
Park.
and Matt Stone, for people that I guess were born after 2010, or something like that.
I mean, it's still going.
It's still going, but they're the creators of South Park. Book of Mormon was their play.
Team America
World Police, and then Baseketball, and then any movie based on South Park.
I was going to say that I found it interesting. I read online if this is true. This is the only thing that both Trey Parker and Matt Stone didn't also write, direct, or produce. So they got recruited for this movie.
David Zucker, the guy who is the director.
Oh, so that's a good fact.
It was based on him and his friends did basketball. They basically invented a game in the driveway, and they.
I'm surprised this never actually picked up to a real sport. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, real sport. I mean, there's a real thin line.
At least for fun.
There's a real thin line though now between sports like televised. There's cornhole for fucking Christ's sake and shit like that.
I just think in this position, it's a game of horse, and guess what? You could be a great shooter in basketball, but if I know how to get under your skin, you're done.
Yeah, we're really good at basketball, except for like running and dribbling. Or
that was a funny scene too. I guess in combination to the opening scene,
I would say the
to
first
the house party.
Yeah, and they go through the drawer, and it's like, why are you in my mom's drawer? And she's like a vibrator.
Yeah, the bidet too.
Yeah, my god, the bidet.
Dude, the one though that you miss right away though, not you, but like some people miss, is like you two graduated to the father and he goes, of course we did cock beer.
Yeah, he always slipped in.
He does like a quick cock.
Come on, man, let's get out of here. No, I really want to fuck this girl. And this dad's right there.
But I mean,
Dr.
also,
Kaiser.
also when they're actually playing the game against the two jocks or whatever, and one of his psych guys gets this greatest line I've ever heard. Oh, one of Brittany Mom's pubic hairs. Oh, here's another.
That
Great
was a
psycho,
sweet
man.
psych out. Yeah.
Oh
What?
God, dude, that's
So okay, now that we've kind of gone over our favorite scenes,
Okay,
what?
hold
on.
So I have one more.
Ooh, one
Whoa.
more. Add it
I
in.
like the Denslow will reading. He's like, "Can everybody leave the room?"
Oh, yeah.
please?" So me and Coop kind of a private
Good
moment.
conversation.
Hey, Coop.
No one moves.
Remember we got those hookers or whatever? I got the crabs cream.
Hey, you got the crabs and there's the cream that's like,
Yeah.
like
only-
this. Man, I found another use for it. I'm so, and he starts saying, "I'm so sexy." Yeah, dude, that's.
And he's
that's
like,
great.
"You getting this?" Over to Yasmin Bleeth, who is I forget her.
I was like, and the whole thing. I think we should mention when Squeak moves in. He's like,
Squeak's
"Oh, you
smart.
can sleep
1/14th,
there." Oh, what the
the-
hell, man? This is bullshit. How am I supposed to get a woman back here? You couldn't get a girl if you had $100 bill sticking out of your zipper. You're a little bitch.
Oh yeah, Squeak, dude, fun character. So let's move to favorite characters, and then within that, who would you like to see more of, and then why?
Okay.
All right, so favorite characters out of the gate, and then who would you like to see more of, and why? Ryan, you want to start, or Woj? Who's ready?
I'll go, man. Al Michaels and Bob Costas is like
Yeah, I had
kind
that, I had
of
that too.
a little bit of a version of themselves, like in terms of just like, hey, they're announcers, they're doing whatever. But I mean, Al Michaels plays like kind of like a pervy dude, and I
Dude,
think it's
crazy.
I think it's
yeah.
hilarious. I like it's so out of left field. I'm like, but he's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
5
looking
years
at the-
ago, they were in grade school.
middle
and
school,
then
yeah.
Costas, like, the fuck?
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, those are good. Let's go back and forth and just keep rounding around.
That was mine. I had that too. I guess I also had Kareem and Dale Earnhardt.
Okay. There's the athletes making a little bit
Yeah, well, because
cameos?
everybody else is kind of in it like most of the movie, so it's kind of hard. Like the main two guys are in it a lot.
I just wish, I mean, outside the will reading, and then the billionaire died right away. What's his name? He's a funny actor.
Ernest Borgnine. Yeah, he's
Ernest
hilarious.
Borgnine. I wish that they had one, like, as he's not my favorite in this. I think Coop and Reamer, the main two characters, are my favorite, but I wish I could have seen a little bit more of him because I thought he added just a fun flair in the scenes he was in.
Dude, when he's talking, he's like, "You kids with your yo-yos and your CD players
And
and
Dan Fogelberg or something like that, and your Pac-Man video
Pac-Man
games.
video games." Yeah, dude. Yeah, I agree that he would have been great. I love Robert Stack, who was the guy of the television program.
Okay, yeah.
It's like
Oh,
unsolved mysteries.
Yeah,
or
so
something.
Oh,
when
yeah,
Coop
that
when
guy,
Coop went
yeah.
to the Bangladesh to kind of clean up the factory and make it so it wasn't like child labor.
I
Yeah,
w-
they had Robert Stack as
if I was his girlfriend, I'd want to snuggle up with him right now.
and they throw
spoon
like
in, and then they
glass
threw water in his face.
But I mean, even him, like he used to do that show, but I still love that. Like it's like
They parodied it.
it's like it's a great parody of him, the guy who does that, actually being like, yeah, fuck it, let's make a joke out of it.
They
Let's
did
do
a
it.
great job. I mean, overall, this movie, like, as a parody movie, they don't really make them anymore like this. But it's good they had, like, the real sports announcers and, like you said,
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah, and then the last one that I'll mention is Joey Diaz, the guy who says the Christian Slater line.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's a fucking hilarious stand-up comic, and he should be doing. For sure, they should. Like I'm assuming again, they had a bunch of lines that he did. They didn't make it in, because that game was like the game that he came back. That I feel like they kind of needed to like move through it. It wasn't super important.
I mean, really outside of, like, the announcers or, like, the athletes playing a version of themselves, there wasn't, I mean, to me, a lot of standout side
No, not really.
characters.
I
It's
mean,
mainly the main two guys and, like,
Squeak's glory.
Yasmin Bleeth and Squeak and
Can we comment on this? They had complete hotties.
oh yeah, Yasmin Bleeth,
Yasmin
Jenny
Jen
McCarthy,
and
Victoria Silvstedt,
Silvstedt
Playmate of the Year.
especially in '98.
Yeah.
Every female on in this film was
That
just
one scene was hilarious. Like, you can help me do the carpet if you know what I mean.
yeah, let's lay some carpet if you know
And
what I
then
mean.
they
Then
act- she's
buff
actually
my
doing it.
lobby.
You think you're like they're like fucking, and she's like doing the carpet thing. That was funny.
Yeah, no, it was a great. It was a good cast, but the obviously again, it's more of a comedic thing, over the top. Where like the female kind of part of it was not really like
They
just
weren't
kind of
prominent
needed to be there.
dialogue
You
roles.
just,
They were
you just
kind
kind
of there to
needed,
you know.
needed to be there and be hot, and they did.
Yeah.
So good stuff. All right, Bobby. So did everybody answer about who
Yeah.
they wanted more in?
Yeah, I think we got what we needed.
All right, what's the next one?
Casting couch. Was there anyone that you thought could be replaced?
Yeah.
Or is there any nitpicks that you want to call out? So continuity.
I had a few thoughts.
All right, here we go. Let's go.
So I thought, like I said, it was interesting that they got chosen to do this movie and they didn't write it or create. I thought for sure they had wrote it and directed it or were more involved, but I guess no. That you said that David Zucker.
David Zucker, yeah.
So I don't know the story about how they became involved with it. Do you know anything about it or?
No, I don't
Okay,
really know.
well, I would say I had other guys instead of them because I'm not like a South Park guy.
Okay, let's hear it.
I know it's maybe like, why would you recast them? But like maybe get like Adam Sandler, David Spade, Chris Farley, Rob Schneider. Well, Chris Farley's dead, I guess. Rob Schneider. Like if you're going like that time period,
Sure.
you
Okay.
know, like maybe Adam Sandler and David Spade.
Yo, funny you say that. One of those trivia things was that it was offered to Chris Farley.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't accept
And
it.
then if we were doing the 80s, you can go Bill Murray or Harold Ramis. Maybe throw like John Candy in there or something. And then I also thought, I was surprised that Leslie Nielsen wasn't in the movie at all. Because he's like the biggest, you know, he's an Airplane and Naked Gun and all that.
Oh yeah, it'd be fun to
Like
see
I was
him
just
in.
surprised. I thought he would have been the
Like as the billionaire Leslie
as the
Nielsen,
owner,
that'd be pretty
as
cool.
the owner or as the rival.
Oh,
The
Dallas
Dallas
owner,
guy.
yeah.
Oh, well, that guy was good though. Robert Vaughn. He was good too.
He was good villain in a
You
thing.
could have
but
snuck him in there. I felt like.
I think you could have definitely. That would have been a great pick. I agree with that. But for me, I mean, I could, in terms of the females, you could really interchange them for any
you
other.
could have Carmen Electra in there. I mean,
really anybody else at that time, because honestly it kind of fills the same void of just like you
Yeah,
need a
we
female
gotcha.
character.
Mhm.
Again, they were very attractive in that. I'm like, I like that. Good job. But I'd really, again, you could interchange them. I don't really have anybody else that like, you know, they're not.
I mean, I guess too, it would have been nice to pepper more like maybe more up and coming or more like people we know now, maybe not then, like comedians as the other players they were playing. Like maybe I don't know who would be.
I think some wasted.
I mean, let me
Go
just interject real quick that there are a couple guys that are on the other teams that you've seen them and stuff.
So a couple
They're,
guys.
they're
sure.
not prominent though. You're like,
No.
oh fuck that guy, and that was like kind of their earlier roles. But I agree with you. There could have been maybe some other guys that were a little bit more comedic at that time.
like one of the guys is Steve Buscemi or something, or like.
But like I'm just thinking of like
I love the practical comedy though in this movie. The guy like so Coop tripping over second, flying through the garage door.
Yeah, that
you know,
was
when he's super
hilarious.
drunk, and then Squeak when they tied him up. Freedom. You know, after he got the Miami dealer
Dude.
guy to choke.
Was
He
that
fuck-
was that Rikishi from the WWF, by the way? He was
Possibly.
It looked like him.
No,
It's great 'cause
no,
they
no,
were
no.
they were doing chicken rotisserie, barbecue, and it was
You're
the stereotypes were
you're
fucking
mixing
hilarious.
them up. Miami was the chicken roasting or
Yep.
whatever. L.A. Riots was the guy
Okay.
who's not. I don't know if he's the WWE guy. He could be, but
Yeah, you're right. I'm
They,
mixing
he
the two.
also says though, he's like, I didn't know your mother was deaf. And he goes, or yeah, I don't
My
know.
mother's
your mother's
dead,
deaf.
little twerp. And then he's like, I guess
That's
that's why she didn't move around a lot.
Great psycho, but again, there could have been some more opportunities with those guys. Again, they got a couple lines. You could have maybe done a little bit bit better there.
I like the stereotypes through for all the other teams that were displayed in here. I love the fact that Real Big Fish. We're going to talk about music here in a little
Okay, I was
bit.
gonna say.
No, we're
Reese.
going to bring that in. But one thing that I thought that they definitely had an opportunity to create a little bit more, I guess, waves in a sense was the other three guys on their team. They pretty much just were, they existed. There wasn't any lines by any of them.
That's the joke of it, man.
I get it. It's the joke of it. But how funny would that be to maybe put someone like in a more like you get someone of a prominent role to just kind of ride the bench, and that's the joke too. You know,
Yeah. Why do you need three other guys anyway, though?
It was
Casey rolling ankle. I don't know.
no, it was. Are you talking about in general a fictitious
like,
sense of
the-
basketball?
yeah.
Yeah, I would assume probably some guy gets sick or whatever.
Are they like reserves? Like they never.
Yeah, they're on the
play?
bench. No, but I thought that they could have done something more with those three individuals. Not to say that I needed a 5-minute dedication to them, but something funny, a quip, something like this, because all they did was just simply exist and they're like,
Well, I think probably maybe part of it too is if they don't say a word, you don't have to pay them as much too.
Yeah, those are David Zucker, the director's
Okay.
buddies from the basketball days, like when they started it.
All right, well then maybe
so some of them made like this guy, and
so
I
it's
would
a cameo more.
I would
than
agree
it's-
that it's probably exactly what Ryan said, is that you don't have to pay them any money. It's
Yeah.
a
It's-
comedic budget.
For example, like the guy in Happy Gilmore who's with what's his name?
I don't know who you fucking talking about.
The golf guy, Vern, whatever, the main guy, when he does, is like, who the hell's Happy Gilmore? And then he looks at the guys. Like,
Oh, yeah, the announcer,
okay.
dude.
that guy never says anything.
covers
Lee
the hunt.
Trevino.
No, not Lee Trevino. That's the golfer.
No, he's talking about the announcer, the older dude who's up to the tee, Lafferty Daniel and Gilmore Happy.
Who the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
And he
I
has
don't know that.
he has like the co-anchor with him. He doesn't say anything the whole movie.
Yeah,
You're talking about the Cohen. Okay,
Yeah.
not the guy.
That guy is like a friend of Adam Sandler, and the reason he doesn't say anything the whole time is because you have to pay him.
I got you.
the moment
Okay.
the words come out of their
Like I
mouth.
said, I think it could be a combination of that shit. But
Yeah, maybe like I said, budget constraints, but I really found it fun that they use the same studio to do all the other different.
Yeah.
But and then the call them cheerleaders, if you will. I really love that. It's PG. Is this PG-13 or R? It's got to be R. It's got to be, yeah. And then the use of chickens for all of their like games. They had free range night, dozen
free
egg,
range chicken
like
night.
so. It was just
what
a
a
weird
terrible
little
time
theme.
to have dozen egg night.
All right, so let's pause and shift it over to the music.
Real big fish.
And yeah, Real Big Fish. They were literally prominent, displayed. They were the home team band playing during the games. And I love ska, so I saw them when they were at Vans Warped Tour. Loved its inclusion.
I definitely liked that they got like a real actual band to do that.
Their version of Take On Me was good, and I like that.
I mean, that album that came out right at that time, I don't fact check shit, but whatever that album was, they had a couple of songs from either vice versa. Either the album came out and they did them in the movie, or the movie came out and then they, put them on their next album. But like that whole like idea though, this is what I just kind of thought of, is like, why wouldn't, like, I know sometimes like venues will have like a band like for a football game, but they'll just do like whatever. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't have a band like as a kind of like pep band, but like then can also like play fucking whatever. Like I just think it would be a good idea for like an NFL event to be like,
cool.
hey, we're gonna put this over the loudspeaker in every break. So like every break, you're just like, hey, we're doing some fucking music, like live music.
Yeah,
at
live
the
music
thing.
would be pretty sweet.
Also had Smash Mouth, Why Can't We Be Friends?
Yeah, that was
Their
during
version.
the whole montage of hanging out with the bear.
That's
the
a
Bears.
that's a great one. The Why Can't We Be Friends, but then also is in Jackie Moon Semi-Pro. The actual
The real version, of course.
real version. But I like the ska version just as much.
Yeah.
Though.
I have two little items I want to address, and then we'll
Hold on,
bring
are we
it-
done
sorry.
with music?
Or sorry.
I got no more now.
Okay, I just already mentioned before the thing with
Yeah,
Trey
and
Parker.
I'm on
singing.
board with the whole Real Big Fish, and then Trey Parker kind of doing his own
I love
Yeah,
voiceover
it was
work
funny, yeah.
Love
for that song. But one thing that I didn't mention for like things that like the whole makeout scene after they fell off that a Malacca Laka board or
Yeah.
whatever. I was just
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, that's a little forced.
It's over
And
over the moon.
a little forced, and then like I know they're raunchy, I get it. I mean, they're South Park creators, but I was just like, it seems like that one was just was pulling a little bit heavy.
Are we picking nits right now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that part
picking
as
it's
well.
a little bit, sure.
Okay, I would just like for the rules to be a little bit more of a way to play defense besides a psych out. Like, I don't know what that would be. I just feel like if you're not phased by it, you could just make every shot all day.
But that's the
long.
idea. They have to get
Well,
creative.
well, this is the thing is that I think in the initial version they could spit on them, but like then in anything like the Matt Stone was doing, the Reamer was doing like in the San Francisco guy's ear, and they like called that a penalty or whatever. So like you couldn't get close
so
to them at
invasive
all.
of like personal space in a sense.
I
But
mean,
they also called, I guess, like continuity. He also like got milk, and they
Yeah.
counted that.
Right, it was kind of. I mean, it's a
But
con-
it-
Well, a
it's-
little
it's
more
funny.
clarification on some of the rules. It's,
Sure.
it's a comedy, but
Yeah, it's real funny.
would have put you more into it.
Also, I think maybe it would help if you can't play any defense another way. Maybe make like the innings more time based, so you can make the most shots in that time. So like eventually it ends because you could get like 100 runs, and you can get 1,000 runs in theory.
Right.
Like if they can't psych you out ever or whatever.
In theory, yes.
Funny thing though, I love that locker room scene where the Yasmin Belid's character walks in. They turn quickly, and you just see these meat hammers go flying around,
Yeah.
and then the Dallas owner comes by and he's like, just shocked, and
Yeah,
they're just talking just so matter of factly.
Yeah,
that was
big
really
dick
funny.
joke shit. Yeah, that's funny.
All right, so last part, then we'll do our ranking was spinoffs.
Hold
What's
on.
you got thoughts?
No, man, we gotta get some fucking more quotes out, man. This
We
movie
gotta get some more quotes. I'm good
movie
with
We
quotes.
didn't really get we didn't touch on those.
All right,
is-
let's knock out some quotes then, and then
right,
we can do the
dude.
spinoff.
Your sister's going out with Squeak.
Squeak Scolari, man, in the whole movie.
Just gets shit on.
I just love these two though with him though, is that he's like, yeah, man, we got to say totally a fucked up shit so that they miss. He's like, wait, why is me going out with this sister totally fucked up? Dude, because you're a little bitch. I am not a little bitch.
You're a little bitch. You keep saying that the whole.
Yeah, but you're a piece of shit. No.
Like the one thing Tim McCarver says, it certainly does seem to be raining shit on Joe Cooper right now.
Yeah, I got that one.
Do you want to
as well.
interview me? No.
Dude, I also love in the Jerry Springer when they're drinking during the game is that Joey, the little sick kid, looks over at Squeak and goes, Mr. Squeak, what grade are you in?
Yeah, what grade are you?
Little quick one.
All right, thanks a lot, Dr. Dickhead. You totally fucked me there.
Yeah, I baked you a fresh poppy seed muffin.
Yeah, or
I got this pretzel for you. I made it by hand. Goes great with mustard.
shit. Did Shaq get rich playing in Orlando? No, he got rich playing
In
college.
college.
Everyone knows that.
Yo, dude, again, you kind of said it a little bit before, but when they play the New Jersey informant, he goes, in the river, baby! Your mother's a terrible cook. It's like, it just 1-2.
How about the one part where he's like, they're like hammered on the bench, and he's like, "That's a man," and I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's a dude. Like, and he starts.
I can
yakking.
smell her
he
perfume.
starts,
Yeah.
he's like, she's got the sweetest Adam's
It's like,
apple. Dude, when Joey, they're around his bedside and they're like, hey, what do you
What's your final wish?
what do you dream of? Like,
yeah.
obviously, besides like a miracle cure or anything like that, he's like, always dreamed of big game hunting. How about killing an endangered species like a bald eagle or giant panda?
Poisoning the reservoir.
How about poisoning the reservoir? Let's throw flesh-eating fish into a public swimming pool.
You're not really getting the idea.
I love
He goes-
but that face of his is like.
And then he's like, what if you had one shot or one dream of all time? What do you think? He goes, Chelsea Clinton? And then he's like, better have a better shot with Bill.
Yeah. That was good, yeah.
Dude, I just like that little line. Like, that's a great little monologue for that dude to be, going out there. But other than that,
He has one line. He says, like, he's talking about himself. He's like, when he turns 16, he goes home and fucks the sleeve of his favorite jacket.
yeah. Oh,
What'd
yeah.
you say? Nothing.
And then,
Oh shit!
yeah, dude. That little. Yeah, she's not catching it. Like they're going through like Joey's story as they're getting.
You guys heard me 13 or 14 more times. I'm out of here.
All right, heads up, big guy. Each throws the ball. Poof, drops him.
He's blind.
Joey's blind. Yeah.
The last one that I got, man, is fucking dude. That is so fucking weak. I just love dude weak.
The use of dude throughout this
Yeah.
is great
Dude.
too. Dude. Yeah. Dude. And then he's like, dude. And he's like, made him think twice.
Yeah, but dude weak. That's my last one out. Ryan, what you got?
I'm going quotes.
All right, quotes. Check. I'll do it this way for the camera.
Oh, actually,
Check
how about that? I like when he does the happy dance. Happy dance, doing the happy dance. That's kind of funny.
All right, Bobby. What's the last part? Here are we on spin-offs?
Spin-offs, and then we'll rank it, and then we'll put
Okay.
a bow on it.
I didn't have anything specifically for like a movie spinoff. I just think it would be cool to see like an actual basketball league. Like if we could make that really happen.
Okay, so
That'd be
like
cool.
in real life.
So like
type
a
of
real
scenario.
life kind of spinoff. Yeah, like if someone actually makes it like, you have the big three basketball, you have basketball. Like, I mean, I'd fucking play or watch. Yeah, you said you got cornhole on TV. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many.
Axe throwing league shit.
It screams ESPN the Ocho.
Yeah.
ESPN.
As a reference, hell yeah. I would just like to see they skipped 5 years ahead. I would like to see what happens in those, like, actually as they're getting, like, hey, this is now a real thing. Now we're starting to go into, like, teams.
yeah.
What teams are going to
Yeah.
be the selection of the San Francisco Fairies or the...
That was kind of
you
a
know.
picking it for me. I forgot to mention, too. Like, they mentioned in the movie, Koopa said he always wanted to be, like, known as a clutch player and have a moment or whatever, but he's played in the league for 5 years. He's the creator of it. He's, like, the best player in the league. He's won, I think he said, like, 3 championships.
Dallas won.
No, Dallas won.
Dallas
3.
won a couple.
But they
Yeah.
won some, too.
I think they won, but also in that Dallas
Well,
definitely
to me,
is
he
one.
already seems like he's reached that status. Like, he doesn't, I mean, granted, he had the clutch part at the end of the basketball.
If anyone deserves a psych out, it's Denslow, dude.
Right. That part was
Dude,
funny.
weak.
My spinoff would actually be, I would like, and this wouldn't be a full movie. This would be probably a 20-minute special or something like that, or an added feature. I want to see some of the, the billionaire and Coop, their little antics. They talk about going to like Mexico. They talk about the time in the Chicago when they got a tattoo. Yeah. So I would love, like, just give me like 20 minutes worth of like viewing of those, a couple scenes of them kicking and hanging out. That'd be real fun.
Dude. I'd be down with that, man.
All right.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah.
So that's my spinoff. All right, rank it. We'll start with Woj and then rent, own, stream.
I would probably do with basketball. I'd probably do, I'm going to say 9.0.
Okay.
Somewhere, right around that range, 9.0. I think it's definitely one of the movies that, as you were, growing up, and like it, I was obviously really young when it came out, but like obviously started seeing it like probably 12, 14 type of era. Like it was like the fucking greatest type of comedy where it wasn't like, super crazy, like throwing out,
it wasn't
too many, like,
vulgar in there. Just
too
F-bombs
vulgar.
everywhere.
There wasn't too many like sex scenes and stuff like that. So like they really try to keep it in the comedy thing. That's where I kind of like it. I definitely have it somewhere. I do own it. I could not find it. But I definitely own it. And also I would just say, because we were trying to mix this in, is that for right now, you can stream it on Amazon for free. Pretty much everywhere else, though, it's going to cost you a couple bucks, a couple doll hairs.
$4 to be exact.
Yeah, for Ryan, that was right.
On Vudu.
All right, Ryan, what you got?
Well, I just want to say for me, like, I don't, like, you guys have a personal nostalgia.
You're right. No, there is definitely a flex.
And experience with this movie, like, that would definitely make your review probably higher than mine. I've only seen it the one time. This is my second time seeing it. I saw it when I was like 12.
Okay, sorry, real quick. Let's peel back the onions here.
Sure.
What did you think the first time you saw it at 12?
Thought it was fine. Like, it wasn't like super memorable to me. Like,
okay.
Again, I for me, like, my takeaway of the movie is I like more the idea of basketball, the sport, like creating the sport, something that I would like to see it and play. Like, I think it's a good idea. The movie was fine for me. I gave it a 7.4.
Okay.
Which to me is like, I don't know, like a C+. I mean, like
par for the course.
Yeah, like it's a watchable movie. If it was on TV, I'd watch it. So I guess I put stream. But if you don't like this type of humor with like, raunchy or like parody type of things, you might not like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see you skipping it, but I would stream it for me. I don't own it. So
Bobby, when did you see this first?
That's a good question. I want to say that I saw this in high school, but like you said, it was kind of more in passing, and like I guess I was focused on other things. Currently, going on instead of watching the movie, but still funny, and I do have a lot of respect for Trey Parker, Matt Stone. They literally push the limit, even within their own comedy. I put it as an 8.7.
Okay,
it's
solid.
It's a solid, like you said, it's a solid movie. There's a little bit of inconsistency, but I kind of like that home feel of like it wasn't like this huge budget movie, so you kind of get a little bit more of that like hominess. I guess that's the best way I describe it. Something that isn't like huge CGI or like
it's and the comedy is definitely like parody based, like over the top.
But they have some real professionals come on.
No, I'm saying, but like it's kind of like a scary movie or like.
Yeah, I would say like a scary movie parallel.
Right, like those type of things.
Yeah,
definitely that type of feel. Yeah.
All right, that's basketball.
All right, Woj,
Okay,
is
so
your choice.
Woj, tease us for our next one.
Yep, the next one that we have coming up is going to be, I would say this falls into the category of drama, kind of also drama fiction, is Inception.
Ooh, you thought I wouldn't like Inception? I love Inception.
It was a 50-50 toss-up because I knew that one of us was not going to like it.
Dude, Christopher Nolan's one of his best movies.
We're going to wait to dive deep into it, but I did call it that one of the other two co-hosts would not be over the moon.
He thought it was going to be me.
Okay. Sometimes I'm wrong.
So you got to fade Woj.
My bet. Fuck. Fuck you. Yeah, betting streaks aren't going real well right now.
You know what's funny? My brother really holds this movie in high regard. I have a different opinion. But yeah, Inception it is.
We will discuss Inception.
I look forward to it.
We also have the Marshall Mathers LP coming up on the next one for TJP, the Journeymen podcast. We will be out of here, but more to come though. Baseball wise, we're gonna have our buddy Josh on in the future here. He's a baseball expert. He fucking knows everything about the game. So we're gonna kind of figure out what he has to say though. So
opening week.
Watch out for that, and that's how I saw it as it came on the screen there. But for your host Woj,
Ryan,
and Bobby,
this is the TJP, the Journeymen podcast. Talking to you next week.
Signing out. See ya.
Adios, fuckers.